Hey, this is MassX with a brand new One Punch Man the Strongest video. And in my last video talking about SSR pluses, I spoke about CK and Metal Bat being the top two to go after in the first 6 months. But I did bring up and said I would touch upon in a different video Geru and why this unit is very close to those two. And let's look at him first, and then we'll talk about why, if you can, this is probably the other SSR plus in those first 6 months that you want to try to get. Well, first off, the attack for Geru attacks a single target for 120%, no big deal. The ultimate deals 5 consecutive attacks to all targets, dealing damage by 120% of attack. Grants specialized Berserk to allies in the same row. First strike will also deal Berserk damage by 200% of Geru's attack, with the chance of crit. Consumes 150 energy gauge of yours every time when one enemy takes Berserk damage. The passive, when battle begins, reduces attack of all hero enemies by 30% for 1 round. From the beginning of round 2, grants himself 35% injury damage free. Now, this is the reason we want to talk about this character, and it's the core. And this is what makes him, if possible, you want to get. As I always say, you should try to get all core characters, but this is going to be the change in meta post-bomb, okay? So, you have to deploy 1 grappler, 2 espers, and Geru will count as one of those espers, so it's pretty easy to set this formation up. When any ally takes fatal damage, enters specialized unyielding, ignores all incoming damage, replaces unyielding, and won't be affected by unyielding ignoration. Effect disappears after actions of any 4 characters, recovers HP by 100% of max HP, triggers twice per character every battle. So yeah, the number 1 reason for this character is the core. It will be the best core when it comes out. And it basically gives every unit 2 extra lives, to sum it up. That's why it's important. As a character itself, definitely not as good as CK or MB. But because of the core, that's what's going to make it sought after and a unit you're going to want to try to get with those other 2. If you look at those first 6 months. So yeah, it's hands down the best core for PvE and PvP. It's really useful in PvE stages to get those full 3 stars because it really prolongs everything, so it makes it great. It's gonna be, of course, obviously the best core for monster side. So again, if you're a monster player, you're definitely going to want it. It's actually strong in boss content also. And the requirements are pretty easy to set up, so it leaves a lot of flexible ability to create some different teams. Now, on the character side, of course, you know, having a 0 energy AoE ult is pretty freaking cool. Even though it's not the greatest ult in the world, you know, free, give me 3. It is a decent, if not above average, utility and support for teams. And, you know, that 35% injury res to itself from round 2 is not shabby at all. It does counter Metal Bat, which is a biggie, because you're going to see a lot of Metal Bats because of how good that character is. And you don't have to go crazy with the character. That's the other thing. So it is not like some characters where you have to have stacked gear and things of that nature. So it makes it much easier to get and put out there. And lastly, and something that we're going to talk about in its own video, like I've said before, is it's not a huge KS requirement on this one. So you can kind of slide by if you have to, especially if you're a free-to-play player, to be able to take care and use this character. So there really isn't much cons to this character at all. That's what makes it so good across the board. The character itself, solid but not phenomenal. The core, important to what will happen with the meta. And it allows you a lot of different setups with this core for your teams, like I talked about before. So, you know, you're going to be able to implement, you know, your CK in there if you've got him. You know, Watchdog Man's going to be solid in there, especially if he's P5'd. If you have CK with him, you know, then you've got choices like Galewind, who will be out, etc. You know, and then, you know, when you think about Espers, there's a lot of availability on those. If you happen to get the SSR plus Boros, it's going to be a great addition with Geru, you know, and kind of, you know, same way, it's going to just all fall into place and give you options when you build. So that's what makes this character sought after, okay? He's sought after for the core first. And then second, of course, is going to be the flexibility. And third, it's a decent support unit, but it really comes down to the core. Alrighty, with that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps so much. Have a great day.